Alrighty, here we go. We got this is the grand finale of Metal Gear Solid: Sons of Liberty. I believe as soon as I load this, we're gonna go into a pretty epic cutscene. We're gonna learn a little bit more about Jack and Solidus and their history together. Apparently, they got a history, a dark past.
Are you awake yet, Jack? GW, the Arsenal AI is corrupted beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated you. I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
Don't do it. Oy. Oh man, you ain't messing around. You could die like right away here. The trick is to not look at the screen. Whew.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him I want the answers from.
What do you mean?
That's not your business.
Oh, really? It so happens I have some business of my own to attend to.
Planning to hijack Arsenal?
Huh?
How did you know?
You were going to screw me over, weren't you?
Who talked?
That's what
Ocelot?
bad guys do.
Not exactly. I was the one who used Ocelot to suggest the idea to you in the first place.
What?
I was planning to give you Arsenal to begin with.
Why the uncharacteristic generosity?
I'm no philanthropist. Arsenal is far from impregnable. It needs other Metal Gears as guards, a huge payload of warheads, and full air, sea, and land support to function efficiently. Against a large attack force without support, Arsenal is nothing more than a gigantic coffin. Seizing Arsenal gear was never the real objective.
What was your objective then?
Russians.
A list of names of the Patriots.
Of course.
They were planning to extend their control to digital information flow with GW and Arsenal. That means the information they want to filter out is contained in GW, including that list of the highest 12 members of the Patriots Wiseman's Committee.
And once you knew who they were, you would cross out their names one by one, while we, with our useless arsenal, drew their fire.
Very good.
You were using us all along.
Were you any different?
But your plans hit a snag with GW destroyed, hasn't it?
No, there is another way.
Really? But we have our own plans to carry out. We'll take the arsenal since you don't care for it anyway. The purified hydrogen bomb is ready to go.
A nuclear strike won't stop them.
It will damage their power source. The mindless masses that they control. First things first.
Of course. That was what you wanted. I won't stop you. Good luck.
Thanks, but I have quite enough of that.
That laugh.
What exactly do you find so funny?
Charades usually are humorous. I wouldn't have minded watching some more of it, but we're running a little short on time.
What are you talking about?
A triple
Everything
cross.
you've done here has been scripted. A little exercise set up by us.
Exercise?
The S3 plan was conceived as a means to reduce soldiers on par with Solid Snake. That's what I told you. But the VR training the boy was put through is not the meat of the project. You think this little terrorist incident is your own doing, Solidus? This is the S3 training kernel. An orchestrated recreation of Shadow Moses.
What?
Ames and the President's deaths. The ninja. The computer virus that mimics Fox Die. Did you really think they were all a coincidence? AIM's own nanomachines were used to shut down his pacemaker. I arranged for the appearance of the ninja as well. As for the president, although Johnson realized what was going on, he played out his allotted part. As for the computer virus, it's a digital counterpart of Foxtie. It was also designed to eliminate every scrap of information regarding the Patriots from GW. Your plan was invalidated even before execution, Solidus. Fat Man was a different story. He's one of our own people. A sort of examiner we hired to test the boy's progress before letting him tackle the exercise proper. We had to arrange for Stillman's presence to coax the maniac into agreeing. If the boy had allowed the big shell to be destroyed, this exercise would have ended there. The project has no room for failures.
What do you mean?
Given the right situation, the right story, anyone can be shaped into Snake. Even rookies can fight like men of experience. An instant creation of genius. And this training kernel would provide more than enough data to formulate such a program. You, Dead Cell, Olga, you're all nothing but pawns placed to create the perfect simulation. Solidus, you and the boy were selected because your relationship resembles the one between Snake and Big Boss. Fortune, you and the rest of Dead Cell stand in for the Foxhound squad that Snake took on in Shadow Moses. You're the most impressive collection of freaks outside of Foxhound. We've gone to a lot of trouble to set you up against the boy. That story about purified hydrogen bombs is just the tip of the iceberg. The project was already underway when I sunk that tanker, along with your old man 2 years ago. Throwing your husband in the brig was a part of it too. You were told that the eradication of Dead Cell 6 months ago was an act of the Patriots. We provoked and encouraged your hatred. And you opted for vengeance, just as we planned.
All orchestrated?
Except for the appearance of the real Solid Snake. I wonder now who sent for you.
All our misfortune was just a part of their project?
Oh. She thought she was bulletproof. Not so much.
How could...
You're no Lady Luck. You have nothing that we didn't give you.
What?
Do you know why no bullet could hit you? It wasn't magic, or some new age mumbo-jumbo. Certainly wasn't your psychic talents. It was all staged by the Patriots.
Staged?
You were being shielded by the electromagnetic weapons technology that the Patriots developed.
Oh, that's
Your
why they
Dead
couldn't
Cell
shoot him.
comrades loved your father and husband. We needed a pathetic wretch like you to keep them focused. You've been our puppet all along, just like Olga.
No!
You were hamming it up as the tragic heroine, thanks to the script that the Patriots wrote for you. Pure self-indulgence, absorbed in your own misfortune. You couldn't get enough of the drama.
I could have died whenever I wanted to.
Thought I got her in the heart.
It missed.
Now I remember. Your heart's on the right. Waste of metal, my dear, but your luck's run out. This is the little gizmo. There's no such thing as miracles or the supernatural. Only cutting-edge technology.
How do you explain vampires?
Bastard.
Now that I have enough data, all I have to do is retrieve Arsenal and clean up the refuse from the exercise.
Just try.
How's this then?
Damn.
She is tough.
Fortune!
You idiot! Get the hell away from there!
I told you, your luck's run out. Take your reward. It's all the payload Ray has. Die!
Everybody down!
What the? Impossible!
Yeah, how's she doing that? She really is psychic.
She is Lady Luck.
That's cool.
My name is Helena Dolph Jackson, the daughter of a proud and noble soldier. I can see my family again.
Damn! Try this instead. No! No! No, not now!
Brothers! Liquid!
for this?
Did his arm just like rip the
Can't
sleeve
be.
off? It just got like all juiced out.
I've been inside this arm all along, waiting for the right time to awaken.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally.
You were inside Ocelot?
Yes, a sleeper in the arm of a Patriot spy.
It was you 2 years ago?
Exactly. I was controlling him. Snake, it was I that leaked information about Arsenal to your partner and got you out here.
What?
You're the only one that can free me. After all... I'm off to bury the Patriots for good.
You know where they are? How?
Why do you think I chose Ocelot as my host? But before I go, I have a family matter to settle with both of you. There's room for only one Snake and one big boss.
Just go with it.
Time to say goodbye!
Damn.
Like surfing, it's a good way to go.
Liquid! Stop this thing!
Is that possible to just break free?
Hey, Snake, you coming?
What is the point of handcuffs if... Damn. Because that's what heroes do. Just dive right off of the side. Chase after a giant mech. Yeah, that's what frickin' heroes do. I guess Ocelot's controlling this thing? I guess you'd say Liquid. He's not Ocelot anymore, he's Liquid. Yeah, it's a little nutty. And then that's an awkward shot. I guess they didn't want to have the, like, show the city getting destroyed. When you look at the timeline on this, it was right after 9/11 happened, so Americans were very sensitive about New York and images of the skyline, etc. So I imagine that they probably cut the scene where Arsenal gear smashes into the land.
Federal Hall.
But that's what happened.
What are you laughing at?
You know what day it is today.
Everybody keeps asking me that.
April 30th?
That's right. George Washington took office as the first president of the United States of America 200 years ago today. And it happened right here. We were going to declare another independence, the dawn of a new nation, here. The end of the Patriots' secret rule, liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
Could have been?
All you want is power at any cost.
Jack, it's not power I want. What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights, opportunities. The founding principles of this country.
You saying you're the good guy?
Everything. that's about to be wiped out by their digital censorship. Jack, listen to me. We're all born with an expiration date. No one lasts forever. Life is nothing but a grace period for turning the best of our genetic material into the next generation. The data of life is transferred from parent to child. That's how it works. But we have no heirs, no legacy. We brothers are called les enfants terribles. Cloned from our father, with the ability to reproduce conveniently engineered out. What is our legacy if we cannot pass the torch? Proof of our existence, a mark of some sort. When the torch is passed on from parent to child, it extends beyond DNA. Information is imparted as well. All I want is to be remembered by other people, by history. The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain. Unlike an intron of history, I will be remembered as an exon. That will be my legacy, my mark in history. But the Patriots would deny us even that. I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all, and we will become the Sons of Liberty!
That doesn't sound bad. Why is he the villain? Why are we fighting him?
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we.
Cut the crap! If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
The mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All of this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context.
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers.
Okay.
Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist inside of you?
That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right, then. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply the best. And you got there all by yourself.
Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashion, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth in order to make yourself feel better.
Leaving behind in an instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
Building a legacy involves figuring out what is wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now, we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays. That's what this exercise was designed to prove.
You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack?
Ocelot was not told the whole truth, to say the least.
We rule an entire nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us?
The S3 plan does not stand for solid snake simulation. What it does stand for is selection for societal sanity.
Damn.
The S3 is a system for controlling human will and consciousness. S3 is not you, a soldier trained in the image of Solid Snake. It is a method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
So you see, we're the S3, not you.
Google.
What you experienced was the final test of its effectiveness.
That's crazy.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method. We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
We chose that backdrop because of its extreme circumstances. It was an optimal test for S3's crisis management capacity. If the model could trigger, control, and solve this, it would be ready for any contingency. And now, we have our proof. Raiden, there are also reasons behind your selection. Solidus raised plenty of other child soldiers. Do you know why we chose you over them? It was because you were the only one who refused to acknowledge the past. All the others remember what they were and pay for it daily.
But you turn your back on everything you don't like. You do whatever you like, see only the things you like, and for yourself alone.
Yes, Rose can attest to that.
You refused to see me for what I was. I lied to you, but I wanted to be caught. You pretended to be understanding, to be a gentleman. You never made a conscious attempt to reach out to me. The only time you did was when I gave you no choice but to do so.
I was just trying not to.
What? Trying not to hurt me? Dear, the one you were trying not to hurt was yourself. Avoiding the truth under the guise of kindness is all that you did. It occurred to you to do nothing but look out for yourself. Even if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen.
That's
In
most
the
people.
end, everything was for your sake. I was never part of the picture.
Exactly right. So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to. The exercise is a resounding success.
Didn't I tell you that GW was still incomplete? But not anymore, thanks to you.
Your persona, experiences, triumphs, and defeats are nothing but byproducts. The real objective was ensuring that we could generate and manipulate them. It's taken a lot of time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results. I think that's enough talk. It's time for the final exercise. Raiden, take Solidus down.
Think again. I'm through doing what I'm told.
Oh, really? Aren't you forgetting something?
If you die, my child dies.
The termination of vital signals from your nanomachines means the death of Olga's child. Not to mention the death of Rose. She's wired the same way.
Rose, does she actually exist?
Of course I do, Jack. You have to believe me.
Damn!
It will be a fight to the death.
Solidus at least wants you dead.
We will collect the necessary data from this last fight. Then we'll consider the exercise closed. So, Jack the Ripper, will it be Solidus, the Patriot's creation, or you, Solidus's creation? Our beloved monsters, enjoy yourselves.
I think they resolved some of this by saying that was
Jack.
not Rose either
My son.
the whole time.
My clone brothers and I are called monsters, replicates of evil genes. You are one of a kind, but still a monster, shaped by a dark and secret history. We need to decide which monstrosity will have the privilege of survival. By the way, Jack, I was the one who killed your parents.
Oh, damn. That's it right there. That's what tipped him over the edge.
I claimed you for my own and raised you as a soldier in the army of the devil. I am your foster father and your worst enemy.
Why?
Because I needed to know whether we were really someone else's creation. We're repeating history, Jack. Liquid and Solid hunted down Big Boss, trying to sever the tie that bound them to him. Unless you kill me and face your past, Jack, you will never escape. You'll stay in the endless loop, your own double helix. It's time we were both free. I have other reasons for wanting you dead. The clues to the Patriots inside GW have been erased, but there are other traces. Inside you.
What?
The information is being carried by the nanomachines in your cerebral cortex, and throughout the neural network they formed. Brace yourself.
Cool. So I'm probably not going to do particularly well at this fight. Firstly, though, thing is that I don't think that they would be opposed to like each other. I think that Raiden and Solidus probably fairly aligned. It kind of seemed that way. The Patriots controlling all information like that, is that a good thing? Or, you know, I mean, to control information for the sake of keeping people safe, or let it, you know, totally run free and rampant. All that stuff kind of came to happen, you know, it's crazy. But absolute freedom, wow, freedom of thought, freedom of information, wow. Kind of intense stuff, you know, but it wasn't until Solidus said, yeah, I killed your parents. Like, then he's suddenly the bad guy, because it's personal now. Off with your freaking head, pal. Ah, you see that? Perfectly timed block. Ah, you got nothing. Oh, this is where you get to use that little jab. Man. Oh, I thought I could block it. You can't block that. Can you, like, just punch him? It seemed like I could punch him. Yeah, you can punch. What the hell? Ah. Oh, come on, do something. Caught me on fire. There, we got a few slices. Oh. I guess you can't kill him. You have to use a non-lethal. The non-lethal HF blade. I'm just going like balls out, way aggressive. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good idea. Ooh, that wasn't too shabby. Oh man, he keeps doing that. If I keep getting lit on fire, I'm in trouble, man. Also, by the way, I think I mentioned it before, but handling this sword stinks. It's not good. Oh, come on. At least I didn't get caught under that. No way. No way, no way, no way. He's just gonna torch me the whole time. Can't see. Let's dance.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, well, come on. He blocked my roundhouse, and then he hit me with his. And then, of course, I keep landing flat on the ground. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat him on the first try. Because he miraculously dodges my attacks somehow. That wasn't too shabby. But you see how I got turned around? That's not my fault. That's because the camera moved. With this game, you can absolutely blame the camera, by the way. Ooh, got him with the jab. Remember I was saying, like, why would anybody use the jab? Well.
Let's go.
Yowza. Usually if I get really aggressive, I can hit him. Not that time. I think it's worse to get... Woo.
Quit playing around.
I hit the wrong button. It just, you know, it's not the X button. It's the triangle button to pop back up if you fall over the edge. So now you gotta start over. Vanished point.
Is that the best
Come on. I hate this camera. With the sword especially. You see how I just get turned around like that?
What's wrong with you?
It's kind of like the fight with Liquid, I think. You kind of have to just go in and get like a 3-swipe. Yeah, just move in, get like a 3-swipe. Oh, now I'm actually using the lethal force. Last time it was using a non-lethal HF blade. I don't know how I did that. Okay, triangle button, and then get caught on fire. Nope, I dodged it. Me.
Is that the best you can do?
No. Hey, grab them rations. Oh, shizzle. Triangle. And right into the flames. I think you can put the flames out by doing this little dance. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I think a good villain needs a relatable cause though. So to some extent, like we don't know what Solidus went through, man. I don't even know where he's from. What was his big war that he needed to recruit all these child soldiers? Like, how desperate were they that they had to recruit child soldiers? That's nuts. Because he said he's not after power. I think they got better villains later. Skullface is a pretty good villain. I understand Skullface's struggle. But Solidus? Not as much.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, preventing the world from being censored? Yeah, okay, I get that. But like... It's also tricky because when you like start to dig into the series, you find like Big Boss had a pretty good... He was a villain too, but he had a good motivation for what he was doing. And you see it from his side. Which I think it goes in line with the pacifist kind of storyline.
This is where it gets interesting.
That's why you can play through the whole game without killing anybody. Because they were Grglukovich soldiers. You find out they were Olga's family. So if you killed them, Okay, what you got to say? Who is it? Hello? Come on, man. Speak up. Come on.
You have to beat Solidus. This is your last duty.
I'm not listening
We're
to
not
you.
just pawns in some simulation game, you know.
Yes, you are. You're nothing but mere weapons. No different from fighter jets or tanks.
What the?
The old model destroyed 4 years ago was Rex.
The new amphibious model is Ray.
Both of these are the same as the code names used by the U.S. Armed Forces to refer to Japanese warplanes during World War II.
Is that true?
The code name Raiden, too, comes from the Japanese Navy's name for one of its interceptors.
Stop it. I'm not a weapon.
Oh, really? Did you know the code name the U.S. Armed Forces used for the Japanese fighter Raiden?
It was Jack. Both of you are just weapons to be used and thrown away.
Just weapons to be used on the battlefield. Just pawns in a game. Exactly as you say.
And a weapon has no right to think for itself. Now, it's time to fulfill your purpose. Defeat Solidus.
So many layers. Oh, I got intercepted in there. Oh, nice. Oh, you're in trouble now, Solidus. See how he just turned around like that? Why are you turning around? Ah. Oh yeah, that wasn't too shabby. Yeah, man, with the fixed camera and then it's moving all over the place, that makes this particularly annoying, man. Particularly annoying, especially because when he moves like that, when he dashes around, if you're pressing forward, you immediately move towards the flames. Pain in the ass. Alright, get back to that body armor. Let's dance. It's impossible to avoid.
What's wrong with you?
Walked right into that. Oh, he's so close. Do the swoosh. Do the swoosh. He didn't do the swoosh. I wanted to finish him with a swoosh. I think that was the end. I think we got him. Oh, that's totally the guy from Abandoned. In the blurry picture. Dunzo. I feel like there's another story there. If they do a MGS 6, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do it about Solidus and Jack.
No one quite knows who or what they are. The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens you had to carry. It doesn't matter if they were real or not. That's never the point. There's no such thing in the world as absolute reality. Most of what they call real is actually fiction. What you think you see is only as real as your brain tells you it is.
Then, what am I supposed to believe in? What am I going to leave behind when I'm through?
We can tell other people about having faith. What we had faith in. What we found important enough to fight for. It's not whether you were right or wrong, but how much faith you were willing to have. That decides the future. The Patriots are a kind of ongoing fiction too, come to think of it. Listen, don't obsess over words so much. Find the meaning behind the words, then decide. You can find your own name. And your own future.
Decide for myself?
And whatever you choose will be you.
I don't know if I can.
I know you didn't have much in terms of choices this time. But everything you felt, thought about during this mission is yours. And what you decide to do with them is your choice.
You mean start over?
Yeah, a clean slate, a new name, new memories. Choose your own legacy. It's for you to decide. It's up to you. By the way, what is that?
Dog tags.
TKO doesn't mean.
Anyone you know?
No, never heard the name before. I'll pick my own name, and my own life. I'll find something worth passing on. They taught me some good things, too.
I know. We've inherited freedom from all those who fought for it. We all have the freedom to spread the word, even me.
Snake, what about Olga's child?
Don't worry, I'll find him. Count on it.
Sonny.
As long as you keep yourself alive, he's safe.
She, but okay. They don't know that
where
yet.
Liquid went?
I put a transmitter on his ray.
Did he head for the Patriots?
Yeah, but I have a feeling they gave Ocelot a bogus location to begin with. Cheer up, we have a better lead. This contains the list of all the Patriots.
But Ocelot took it.
The one we gave you wasn't the real thing.
What?
This virus is coded to destroy only a specific part of GW, namely the information about the Patriots' identity. Which means that there's a parameter coded in here that defines what that information is.
I get it. Analyze the code and you can probably find out where they operate. Count me in.
No, you have things to do first. And people you need to talk to.
Like Rose? Okay, keep in mind, my theory is that the person we were talking to on that codec was not the real Rose. Because he resolves his relationship issues with her. But she was just talking like she played him. It just doesn't make sense unless it was the GW AI that was kind of playing as her. And they said earlier that his brain was filling in the gaps. But then how did she get there? I'd be awfully suspicious of her every step of the way. Don't trust her. Don't trust her.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Can I ask you something? Who am I, really?
I wouldn't know. But we're going to find out together, aren't we?
Oh.
In Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. They do come back, too, by the way. And we're going to play that next.
See me for what I am, okay?
I know.
So she is pregnant with his child. That part was real. I think everything up to the point where they injected the virus or uploaded the virus.
Do you remember this place?
Of course. This is where we first met. I remember now.
Hmm?
Today is the day I met you.
That's it.
This song like sticks in your head.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah. But genes aren't the only thing you pass on. There are too many things that aren't written into our DNA. It's up to us to teach that to our children.
What kind of things?
About the environment, our ideas, our culture, poetry, compassion, sorrow, joy. We'll tell them everything together.
Is that a proposal?
This is for your ears only.
The idea and the notion is that, I believe, this is just my interpretation, but in the sea of information and data and junk data, as it was called, the only way to preserve the truth is to pass it down to your own children. Which is a sort of a fascinating psychology. It's like, because data can be tampered with, because data and information, things in our school books even, can be just rewritten or retold to serve a purpose. The only way to really maintain a culture or maintain our humanity is to pass it down to our own children. Kind of a consistent theme from the first one too. Now I don't want to speculate too much about that. Let's see, setting research. These are the people who went to New York, basically. Hideo, Satoshi Yoji, Motosada Mori. He's been their military advisor since the first one. I think he continued to be all the way up until Phantom Pain as well. Concept map. I know a lot of people who would love to be game designers, but the actual work, I mean, look at that. There are, what, 10 people who worked on the script? That's just the dialogue. That's just the story. So it's all based on this concept, like an overarching concept. Wow, 10 people just to write the story. A lot of emphasis on story back then. Of course, more of a linear story. Look at that. 3 people made all of the characters for the whole game. 6 people made the backgrounds, all of the environments. That's how big their whole team was just like 30 people? Oh, concept design by Yoji Shinkawa. Usually, I think they hired on several other people for 3 and 4. And Peace Walker as well. Is it Chihiro I forgot her name. See if I can look it up. Was that about 12 or 15 programmers, something like that? Tool support. Oh, they were definitely using motion capture for these. Expressions. Oh, so they probably did motion capture for facial expression too. Performance capture would be my guess. Pretty small team compared to modern games. I wonder if this is footage from their trip or if it's stock footage. About 8 people on the sound team, maybe slightly more. Wow. Of course, Chris Zimmerman is the voiceover director. I had a chance to work with her, somewhat indirectly, when I was working on Final Fight Streetwise. I don't want to go into that story though. We'll save that for the if I ever do a Final Fight Streetwise playthrough. That was the game that I worked on. Before going to Blizzard and all that. Attractive Action Club? Oh, I bet that was from the posters, the girly posters and stuff. Kyle Cooper. I think he's done a lot of the intro logos and sequences for a while. These are a lot of the same names. They just categorized them differently, which is interesting. Oh, here's all the poster models. Here we go. Game posters. Police Knots. That would be really interesting to see a new Police Knots. Why not go back to that? Again, best time in history to be a game developer. By the way, did you notice Scott Dolph is the name of the localization guy or the international presenter? So when you watch like early E3 presentations, Scott Dolph was actually the guy doing the voice intro. For 1 and 2, Metal Gear 1 and 2. I wonder if he's bilingual, if that's why. This was done by Blue Point Games, this particular conversion, the HD remaster, done by Blue Point Games. Most recently, at least at the time of this recording anyway, their last game was the Demon's Souls HD remaster on the PS5. Absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh, so good, so good. But it looked like they did an HD, Blue Point did the HD remaster version of Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and Peace Walker as well. We're not going to get to Peace Walker or Metal Gear Solid 3 until after we go through 4. And that might be confusing, but it's because, and I'll explain it again, but it's because this is the Solid Snake storyline. Like immediately after this, they went to 3, and 3 takes place in like the 70s or the 60s actually. This is like Big Boss era. And I think it's more beneficial to actually see immediately after what happened, you know. We had to wait like 10 years, but you guys don't have to wait that long. Well, hopefully. It takes me a while to do these. I think there's a post-credits scene.
Life isn't just about passing on your genes. We can leave behind much more than just DNA. Through speech, music, literature, and movies, what we've seen, heard, felt, anger, joy, and sorrow. These are the things I will pass on. That's what I live for. We need to pass the torch and let our children read our messy and sad history by its light. We have all the magic of the digital age to do that with. The human race will probably come to an end sometime, and new species may rule over this planet. Earth may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can. Building the future and keeping the past alive are one and the same thing.
Wow, that's powerful.
Snake, you there? It's me. I've finished going over that disc.
Oh, cool.
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people.
Let's go get
There
them.
was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
What's going on around here?
I don't know.
Anyway, where are they?
Well, we were right about them being on Manhattan, but
But what?
they're already dead. All 12 of them.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the hell?
You got bogus data, man. Yeah, so it was totally Snake played right into their hands. Let's see, we got a playtime of 12 hours and 30 minutes roughly. We got 14 saves, which you guys didn't see all of them. There was some more dialogue with Rose in there, which I called this a thorough playthrough, and then I didn't do all the codec calls, but that's kind of the joy of the game, is that sometimes you play it, sometimes you see it all, sometimes you don't. So you see different things, you know, little subtleties in some of the dialogue, you know, things like that. 20 alerts? I don't believe that even for a second. Was it 20? Damn. 36 rations, most of which were consumed in that last fight with the bunch of rays. Oof, that was brutal. I'm an elephant. Frickin' elephant. Oy. I love Yoji Shinkawa's artwork in the background. It contrasts the hard surface of everything throughout the rest of the game. Just from an art direction standpoint, it's like a nice juxtaposition. New items. Ooh, baby, I got that digital camera. All right. Oh, it's just for the tanker episode, really, because you get the digital camera in the other episode anyway. We can save it. Even though I'm probably not going to do... No, I'm not going to do a trophy hunting or anything like that. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this one. I didn't even get the bandana or any infinite ammo or anything like that. Man, I could probably do like a post-game wrap-up or something, but I don't know, it's just so meaty. There's so much to think about, and I certainly don't want to inject too much of my own opinions on it. There's just some neat stuff that was talked about throughout the game. Some really neat stuff that poses some interesting situational, social stuff that we're going through in our modern times. I thought it would be a really relevant thing to play through this particular game at this time. And what's interesting is, like, in context, you know, we've had like something like 6 more games since then, you know, from this team. So, or 5 or 6 games. So it's really neat to see how they've built on some of the themes, even consistently amongst characters, and also to see what was a lie and what really came to pass. It's kind of really fascinating. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me on my Sons of Liberty playthrough. Dudes, thank you so much for joining me on this one. My favorite thing, by the way, is reading your comments. So if you enjoyed the playthrough, I'd love to hear about it. Don't criticize my gameplay too much, please. I wish I could have done it a little bit better. When I stepped into it, I was doing so well for the first few episodes that I was like, oh man, I'm going to ace this, man. It's going to be easy. And then, of course, you get spotted a couple of times and it feels a little cheap because it's off camera. And it's like, oh man, and I didn't want to just cut that or edit all this. I don't have time to edit. I spend all of my time editing videos for my other channel, so I don't want to do that here. This is just me playing games, hanging out, and having fun. So, dudes, next up, I want to do Guns of the Patriots. I want to do Metal Gear Solid 4. I want to find out and share with you guys relive the experience of Solid Snake's life towards the end as he gets. There's some pretty neat turns that happen from basically still kind of blowback from things that happened in Metal Gear Solid 1, the whole thing with Fox dying. We get to find out what that did to him now that he's the last of the Les Enfants Terribles, and what happened with Otacon. Did he ever find true love? And what's going on with Olga's kid? We get to find out a little bit more about that, and of course, Raiden and Rose. What becomes of Raiden and Rose? I don't want to wait another however long. Let's dig into this. All right, so dudes, that's it for me in this playthrough. Again, please leave some comments if you would like to let me know what you thought of this series, this playthrough, and how I could maybe make the next one a little bit better. All right, dudes, that's it for me. Ciao.